specifically is found is in the epidermis. Okay, lab 4. I gotta move up. Just joking. Too far. Too far. Go back. Here we go. Okay. First one's annelids. So animals in this phylum have a true body cavity called a coelom because it is lined with mesoderm structures. Developmentally, annelids are protostomes. Let's see, number 2, bristle-like structures used in locomotion are called setae or setae, and they are made of a carbohydrate polymer called chitin. The excretory tubules found in annelids are the nephridia. The next one, the saddle-like structure in earthworms that secretes mucus used in cross-fertilization and results in a cocoon for developing eggs, is called the clitellum. The next one, the structure in the hermaphrodite earthworm used to store sperm as part of the male reproductive system, is the seminal vesicles. Number 5 and 6, quite a few of you missed these questions. So number 5 is seminal vesicles. Number 6 is seminal receptacles. The class of earthworms is Clitellata. The usual location for the nerve cord in invertebrates is ventral. The polychaetes, like sandworms, have lateral extensions that are used as respiratory surface and locomotion are the parapodia. Leeches have an anticoagulant called hirudin. Next, if we move to arthropods, the phylum Arthropoda is the largest phylum. It includes 80% of all animals because it is insects, spiders, crayfish, all those guys. The class or subphylum or the crayfish is Crustacea. That's the class. Next, the carapace is the covering of the cephalothorax in the crayfish that is carefully removed to observe organs beneath it. The name of the large muscles attached to the crayfish is the mandibular muscle. The next one, the tube in the abdomen of a crayfish that needs to be removed before eating the muscle of the tail, is called the hindgut. The molecular components of the exoskeleton or cuticle are chitin and protein. Number 7, green glands are the excretory glands. The respiratory structure of crayfish is gills. The appendages of the abdomen that enable water to flow across the gills and helps identify male and female are the swimmerets. And the appendages of crayfish tend to be branched on the ends, and this is called biramous appendages. Okay, move on to lab 5. Lab 5. Okay, mollusks are protostomes. The 4 characteristics of the phylum Mollusca are a muscular foot, visceral mass, a mantle, and a radula. If you don't know what those are, go back and look them up. What is the role of the mantle? The mantle is a thin membrane that covers the visceral mass and secretes the shell in a lot of mollusks. Next one, the class that includes squid, octopus, and chambered nautilus is the cephalopods or cephalopoda. This one, which of these sketches is the squid eye? This one, the one on the right. What is chitin and what parts of the squid are made out of chitin? Chitin is a structural carbohydrate that is formed from chains of glucose molecules. The beak, the pen, and sucker rings are all made out of chitin. Let's see. How can you differentiate a male and a female squid? A male is longer. It has a more slender mantle than a female. They are generally larger than females. They have long sac-like testes, visible vas deferens, and have Hectocotylus, which is an arm that deposits sperm into females. The female can be determined because the mantles are shorter and wider. They have large paired white glands, which are the nidamental glands, and that secretes a protective covering for the eggs. These, just in case we don't know them, the first one is bivalvia, the next one gastropoda, the next one are the polyplecora, and the last one are cephalopoda. Okay, that's everything in the green boxes for Lab 5. For Lab 6, let's get down, keep going. Okay, so for echinoderms and chordates, the echinoderms have an internal skeleton that is made out of calcareous plates. Adult echinoderms have radial symmetry, but their larvae have bilateral symmetry. I think that tripped a few of you up. The larvae are bilateral, the adults are radial. On a starfish, where is the madreporite located and what is its function? The madreporite is a small, smooth plate at the entrance of the starfish and at the entrance of its water vascular system. And this is where the starfish takes in water and it can filter things out of it. It's located on the top or the dorsal part of the starfish, and it's just slightly off center. The ampullae are connected to the tube feet. When the ampullae muscles are contracted, the water is forced into the tube feet. The role of the pyloric stomach is that food is transferred here to be digested with enzymes. The 4 characteristics of all chordates: they have a notochord, they have a dorsal hollow nerve cord, they have pharyngeal slits, and they have a postanal tail. At some point in their development, not necessarily as adults, but at some point in development, they have all 4 of those characteristics. Adult tunicates are sessile, and they display only one of the chordate characteristics. Which one? The pharyngeal slits. What is the function of a notochord? It provides structural support. Where does the gas exchange happen? In amphioxus, between the water and cells on the organism's surface. And then contrary to arthropods or crustacea, the nerve cord of the amphioxus is on the dorsal side. Okay, so again, this is just to get you through those green box questions. If you have questions about things that you missed on the lab quizzes, email me and let me know. But hopefully this can clear up some of those things that you guys may have missed on this part of the lab.